Well, well. I wasn't sure. I was giving it 50-50. I said it had a pattern for going higher, but I wasn't so sure. I said it was a little bit more bullish pattern yesterday than what we saw in Meta, and lo and behold, look at that pop right there, way up there at 176 pre-market. Beautiful. Google slamming in there with best earnings ever, more money they've ever extracted from us humans. Pretty smoking right there. Beat by 25% on the top, 2% on the bottom. I mean, $80 billion went into Google's coffers right there. Smoking hot, taking us higher in the markets so far. And can't forget old Microsoft over here either. Right there, coming in. I mean, not nearly as crushing a beat, but definitely showing some strength on the automation side, suggesting that the automation software is selling better than they thought, which they're basically talking about AI at this point. Setting up, if we break above this 415 area on the daily, probably heading up to 443, maybe 459 on the, I mean, dividends don't, like, come on. Companies start paying dividends when they don't have anything to invest in. That's the dividends are actually, not necessarily good as far as what that means is the company's not going to explosively grow anymore. Just like Apple, once they started paying a dividend, the growth is kind of leveled off, not really growing. And so, new dividend, while maybe bullish today, not really bullish long term. All right, that's when a company runs out of things to buy and invest in to grow their business, they start paying a dividend, and it's not super bullish. It just isn't like that for me anyway. Hey everybody, good morning. And if you are got the leverage thing on still. Flip that back to fade. There we go. And welcome. If you want to chat on the stream with me and all the other people, click the button over here. Be a subscriber on the channel. And a few seconds later, whatever, you can chat right on the live stream. And yeah, Microsoft's up, actually 14 right now, not 17. Yeah, 14. 14. Oh, yeah, you said 14. So, and welcome Keith, welcome General Rush, good to see you, sir. Rob, Anthony, Alan, Wade, Donald, Sergio, welcome everybody. Rosalind, Michael, Tara, Ted, Diesler, Alan, Rongamer here as usual. Glad to see everybody. Laura, good to see you. And popping over to the ES. Look at this baby. This was interesting yesterday. I want to show this off right here. Let's jump down in the time frame. Look, right here. We go the low right there to this high right there. Look at what we did. Even though the cash index, this is why I watch futures. The cash index made this really muddy, but that did a measured bounce right there. Did a measured bounce. That was pretty cool. So the target for a measured bounce just happens to be right there. That's the scary thing. So we didn't rally up to that line in front of GDP or PCE, like I thought we might over here. Thought we might get up there before GDP and PCE. So now, do we rally up there between now and FOMC day next Wednesday? Dun, 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 dun. And then do a big drop. That's the thing. That's the ticket. If we can bust through, if we get on the upside of this resistance, potential to go higher on the FOMC. If we stay right in this zone, here's how you know what's coming, all right? If we stay right in this zone, at or below this zone right here, probably doing this on FOMC next week. All right? Probably doing this right here. Probably doing this. So right here, right here. We did this bounce right here, measured bounce. This puts us right up here, the target. And there you go. So anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance can't not necessarily indicative of future results. May never get it right again. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining, not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. So if you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. All right. So what I say, this move right here was the measure bounce right there, taking us higher, but that measure bounce potentially stopping right there. FOMC Wednesday, May 1st at 2 p.m. right there. If we get to that between now and then, stop anywhere in this zone. Potential for a large down right there. I'm showing charts. You're behind. There you go. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody's in. There we go. Dun, dun. And there we go. There we go. All right. Popping over and look at the calendar. Dun, dun, dun. Today we had core PCE coming in line. So what did we get? We got a little bit of chop. That's all. I mean, didn't come in hot, didn't come in cold. Got a little chop. And that's what we see when we jump way down in here. Right here, the 5 minute. Whoop. Got a little chop. Nothing really. Little pop, little chop, little just chop. So we popped on that Google earnings last night and just parked. Parked overnight. Right like that. Slightly down. Slightly pulling back. That just sets us up to potentially go higher when the market opens. Potentially. Doesn't have to. Oops, that was the wrong ticker. VIX futures. Continuing down. Got a little lightning yesterday, but still maintaining the downtrend here. And that's probably going to, that looks like we're going to flush on down a bit. Possibly get down to 14 today. And VIX, unless some lightning shows up. VIX very similar. And probably going to flush on back down. Back to the resting zone. Alrighty. NQ. This is NASDAQ, by the way. If you're unfamiliar, we held pretty good on this higher low situation right now. So that possibly could be 5 up, a retrace, but it also could be part of a bigger correction on the way down. Same exact zone as we saw on ES right there. Right in there. That's the resistance. We get over there by Wednesday. Right there. 2 p.m. Same. Right there. 1400. 2 p.m. That can lead to an extension down. And could be that big. Could take us down here to 16,600. Maybe like, no, please, no. Go fully hit the daily roadmap line. Maybe even something worse. Maybe. Looks like the 3 days way down there though. Russell. It would have to, we're gonna have to put some hustle on if we're gonna go up on Russell here. We've got the initial move up. Got a retrace. puts us in the same exact pattern. All three indexes, same exact potential pattern. Watch out for this, all right? Like, this is not just a little bit of, this is not just like, hey, this could happen. This is like happening. It's happening, sweetheart. Be careful. We stop right there. That's probably indicative that we may go down. All right. This is like me and Meta, like the other day when I was like, maybe we're going to go down. This is a little more sure thing. Like, if we stop right in there, good gosh, watch out. If we get through, though, if we get through all these resistance zones by Wednesday of next week, by FOMC time, which ahead of FOMC, we usually kind of do lackluster price action. We may drift higher. So be freaking careful. That's got the setup. CL appears that we're moving up off the bottom of the channel. Next stop, potentially coming up here. Really like to see it get back above that 618. And that would be, yeah, 4-hour bounce at this point. 4-hour bounce. Not the most reliable, as we went through earlier in the week. I got to change that down to 1 contract. And as you can see, 74%. I mean, it's pretty good. It's not the most reliable, but, you know, that'll take a 4-hour close above that level at 84, 85, basically. And then we'd be looking for a move up in this 89, almost 90 area right up there. Alrighty. Moving on, moving on. GC. This one did some interesting stuff overnight. Made like $600 overnight. I bought a GC call on the futures. It closed out at like 3 a.m. on the pop. Maybe like, what pop? I didn't know you could trade options in the night. You can trade options on futures all night long. And while I was asleep, 3 a.m. on that pop right there, rallied right up, got me out. And what was the move I was trading? It was right here. That right there got me in late yesterday. Retraced it. I was just kind of like, I'm going to leave it overnight. And then we rallied right up. 3 a.m. got me out. And then it hit the target up here. Bounced off right there. So anyway, that was pretty cool. Love making money while I'm sleeping. And it stopped right on the 1272 too. You see that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Stop right there. Anyway, so looking back at the big picture on gold, this pattern works all time frames. I'm telling you, like, it's pretty smoking. And right here, it looks like we may have finished up that correction at this point on gold. When you go like this and this and this, we pretty much, that was it. That's all we needed right there. Right there. The same pattern I was talking about on ES, NQ, RTY, just upside down. Right? This one went down, hit that zone. Now we can go up for continuation. So what are we looking for? Key thing we're looking for right now, a break above this. Oh, cool. Restart. Remind me tomorrow. This right here. That right there. We're looking for that. Get above that level. Probably going on up. 2480. Now, I wanted to see gold go a little bit lower. And looks like the market's open. Get some alerts. Fire it off right there. And BTC. Bitcoin. Not the strongest. This is starting to set up some resistance here that I'm not keen on. It depends on how you want to draw the line here. Not too keen on this downtrending resistance thing we're working on here. I just have to say, may it be indicative of more, I mean, it was like the starting line. It's not the finish line. The halving event last week was the beginning of this. And I thought it might need some consolidation and correction before we can go higher. Now this is kind of, is this a bull flag? Like we got the pole, we consolidate for a while, and then we break out again. Bull flags tend to get a move similar to that. Could take us up to 100,000 pretty quickly. All that is control. This is not a pattern that I find high reliability in, but I'm just pointing it out there. This is a common bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you call it. There's the pole, there's the flag, the consolidation, and then we get the continuation. Now this, how long does this continue? I mean, it could continue for a little while. But if we go breaking out above the top of this channel thing we've been doing, which is above the 618, that could be the target up there. In quick fashion. Everybody see it? The little flag thing? Pole, flag, continuation. I'm a trend pullback continuation, so I know lots of these little trend pullback continuation patterns. Keep an eye on it. And funny enough, that's just a corrective type pullback. This is so far 3-wave fashion. And that would be the continuation. It'd be an echo too in the market, you know, an echo. See all the things kind of come together. Anyway, Ethereum still looking more bearish here so far. May reach down there on the daily. We go to the spot market. Why am I not using the spot market? Because there's no certified price on the spot market. It's just trading views, general idea of what the price is. This is looking a little more bearish. I'm seeing a lot of news about the spot ETFs not going to get approved in the United States. We do have trading opening up on April 30th for the Hong Kong spot ETFs on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Could that take it higher? Maybe. We'll see what happens next week. DXY, just chopping sideways at this point. I'll pop over here and look at the DXY on my chart where I have all the things drawn. You can see we're sitting right at this resistance area, and 108.50-ish is the target. Probably 108 to 109, you know, somewhere in that zone would satisfy me for doing the pattern. Like that's a bigger time frame pattern. I know I got lots of stuff drawn on here. We broke above the 618 though, and moving on up here. Now, how long could that take? It could take us another, like this could happen on like we could start pushing up there on FOMC, but it could take us up to May or June to get up there easily. Just be lackluster. Then we could break down. I do expect us to kind of top out right there. Oh, there's that. I said that was going to close to my term trading lab people right before I got on. FNGU trying to push higher, break above that 618, could take us up to 388. Google, of course, blowing through all the targets. Dun, 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 dun. Protect your profit though. That's likely to retrace. I wouldn't expect continuation from this point, but I mean, it could drift higher. It's probably going to retrace. That's blowing them through lots of big picture targets here. Didn't expect much higher than 170. We're sitting there at 174. Watch out. Watch out. NVIDIA. If we retrace up to here, you know, so far the trend is down. Trend has been like we changed trends. We're trending down. Just depends on your time frame, all right? Right now, the last days since March, beginning of March, we've been trending down. If we retrace up to the 618 level around 890-ish and turn down, we're probably coming down to the roadmap line at the minimum. If we get below the roadmap line, it could be something more sinister and more dangerous for long on NVIDIA, but at this point, we may finish this correction down here. Now, if we break above this 890, 900, possibly 920 level, it does have a little bit of resistance. Like if we get a little overexcited, we consolidate it in there. We get above that consolidation, right back over here, just earlier in April, it could take us on up possibly to 1050, 1140, possibly biggest company in the world, but they're gonna have to catch Microsoft, which keeps up in the ante here. We go look at the I think I closed the Infinity market cap. Yep, there it is. Link for it right there. Linked in the description. Yeah, Microsoft give it a little back. 3 trillion. It probably doesn't count the little bit of pop today. So somewhere up here around 1250, possibly on up even higher. It's going to take for NVIDIA to become the biggest company in the land. If they do that, watch out. History has shown that companies that suddenly go from way down the list up to the top of the list don't stay there very long. Apple and Microsoft kind of own that spot for a long time, for like 20 years, maybe longer. A couple other companies have popped up in there occasionally, like Cisco, XOM, GE, and then some bad things happen to them. So Microsoft and Apple have been the only two that have been able to hold the top for a long time. So watch for this. It's kind of a warning. It's kind of like the foreshadowing a horrible story if this pops up here and then we start down in maybe 20 or 30 years before NVIDIA recovers. Could it pop up and hold the top? It's possible. It's just not highly likely. I mean, think about the diversified markets that Microsoft and Apple are into versus NVIDIA is very specific, very narrow market. It's like Cisco. It reminds me a lot of Cisco. Cisco was a very, this is Cisco, the router company, was very narrow. In the internet days, everybody was like, oh man, everything's going to be networked. Everything's going to run. Cisco's just going to print money. Very similar to AI. Everything's going to run on NVIDIA GPUs and blah, blah, blah. And then guess what? Other companies could make stuff that the internet ran on, and Cisco didn't have the monopoly. So, and then we also had a large pullback .com bust in the market. So Microsoft, like I said, if we can get the daily close back above the 618, probably set us up for 443. SMCI, same situation as NVIDIA. If we rally up to this 618 resistance area where we consolidated on the way down, watch out for continuation lower, maybe to the roadmap line, maybe something more sinister on down lower. Dell does the exact same thing as SMCI. I'm just warning you, all right? Like, this is just I feel like I've seen all these things happen before, and the details of the narrative change, but the narrative is like the same story over and over and over in the markets. You just have to be in tune with it. And MDB has pushed. Look at that. Look, it came right down to the target, touch and reverse, popping back up above the roadmap line. This could be an aggressive entry if we can close above. Right there, if we close above, could be the initial signs that we're going to pop on higher. More conservatively, you want to see it above that 618, and 559 would be the upside right there. That's encouraging on that one. Let's see, 80%. Look at that. We can get above that 618, 80% to go up here. That's I'd probably take a bet on that. Now, it's not from here. It's when we get above here. Gotta get a daily close above the 618 level up here. That's going from this high back in February to this low that just happened like last week. Get above that 618 right there. 80% likely we're going up here. And I go for 90% of the way there. All right. Fuzzy zones. Fuzzy zones. I don't think these are definitive to the penny target zones. I think they're like this because I can draw them. You can draw them. Every algo out there can figure out these levels. Some algos front run each other. All right. Like, these are not magic levels that I just came up with. Everybody in the market can find the same dang levels. So I go with fuzzy zones. Sometimes we get a little overexcited. We go higher. Sometimes we start selling before we get there and come up just shy. All right. So I go for 90% of the way there on my targets, conservative targets. I'd rather have the money than be sitting there going, dang, man, I missed that by 2 pennies. So anyway, set your alerts conservatively and make your decisions. If it's going to keep blowing, you can keep edging your stop up, riding it up. ASML. Well, that one looks like it may continue down to the roadmap line right here. Same story as NVIDIA right there. This is like the largest company in Europe. I believe it is. They make the chip, they make the fabs that make all the fancy chips, like the NVIDIA chips, the Intel chips, the TSM chips. ASML makes the fabs, and China has been banned from buying. So their largest customer for the last umpteen years has been banned from buying the equipment. What does that usually mean? Retrace time. So that was an extension right to the 1272, right almost on the money for this big pullback we did back here. That big pullback, this extension broke above the 618, rallied right up and tagged that 1272. What can that result in? It can result in a bigger retrace, and I'd be careful out there. Now, we do have support on this one right back down here at this 770-ish level right here. If we can hold that, we could possibly go, and that did a gap right there too. So if we go fill that gap, hold, and start back higher again, it can go on the next extension up to 1200, possibly even higher, 1500. But I would watch out for a deeper retrace right now on ASML. GGLO, Google leverage long, popping on Google popping. ANET, I'm not going to go through leverage stuff very much. Leverage stuff doesn't always follow the patterns, so loosely does, but ANET has a setup right there. That's a measured. That's a market roadmap bounce right there, potential. Get above the gap. It left a nice fat gap right there. We'll get above the gap. Looks like 328, maybe 357 on the upside. Snow popping a little bit, but I still expect this to come on down, baby. Maybe on earnings. Can we get it there this time? This is a corrective type move that we did from all the way back here in June of 22 up through February of this year. A dip into this area. Anything lower than this 110 area is going to wrap this baby up. Like, we can be done with this corrective junk right here. I expect one big flush. And yes, that's like a $50 flush. So be careful. We did did a big fat almost $100 flush from the last earnings back here. But wait, earnings were good. Yeah. But standardized, they lost a bunch of money. So, I mean, you tell me. I expect this to flush. This just the chart pattern, right? This was a choppy, sideways, gobbledygook right there. One good flush, and then we can start off anew and build something higher. I think they have good technology for data centers, but their chart looks like absolute crap. And I want it to clean it up so I can find a good entry and build a long-term position there. SKX. It's back to, you got to be careful. You can believe in a narrative. I mean, Sledge has been hammered on this several times lately. I mean, once you can turn off believing in the narrative and go for the chart patterns, you're going to do way better. That finally hit right there and popped. Look at that. Right up to the target. And that's where we're sitting. So next target up, 71, but it may retrace off that. Didn't leave us a whole lot to work with there. That last pop did that. If we got an echo, could take us up as high as 78. Right there. This is not as high probability. This was the high probability target. And we did it. DDOG. See what we got cooking here. Zoom her up. Zoom her up, Buttercup. Still expecting a tag of the roadmap line. Could we go higher from here? Sure. We can always do something. I mean, we can always go off script. Trying to push above the current 618 consolidation there. I'm just not convinced. Not convinced we're going to do it. May result in a drop right down here. It's been a whole bunch of consolidation. One little tag lower than that low that we already did there. Yeah, right down in that zone would be what I expect. Right down in here. Something right down in there. around 114, 115, possible anything really up to 117-ish. Anything up there, anything down in that zone can clean this up, and then we can go higher. Amazon, be careful. That looks like it's coming down, and possibly could be coming down further. Now, the upside up here. I'm just saying, be careful. Like, this has the potential on earnings coming up next Tuesday to do something a little more sinister here. Catch some people off guard. It's glancing right off these prior highs. Triple top. Watch out for the retrace. And that's potential to go down in this zone. I gotta fix that just a little bit. So here's the support zone right in here. Watch out. That's what that's what I gotta say on Amazon. Watch out. Like, that's a warning sign to me. Now, could it just break out and go? Sure. If you like to gamble and stuff like that, if you're like, I think JT's wrong, go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it. See what's up. ASTS, crushing it. EDU, potential measure bounce. We got to get it back above this consolidation. Man, lots of stuff hitting. Spot, potential to retrace back to the roadmap line. CRWD. Hey, Major John. CRWD. Potential to come back to the roadmap line. ALV. Potential to come back to the roadmap line. PDD. It's just sitting in this consolidation. It's got this resistance up here. It's got this support down here, then target zone that we haven't quite touched yet. We came really close, but we didn't quite get there. That's what we got cooking there. SPXL, leveraged long on SPX. Did not quite hit the roadmap line. Now that is leverage. Be careful on leverage. NVDX, another leverage position. Don't even have any roadmap line to talk about. Snap. Wronger's favorite social media platform here is just sideways. Not a lot cooking. Tried to break out, got slammed back down, back up to try to test it. It's just sideways. Sideways consolidation. AMD hanging out just above the roadmap line. Hanging out. We can pop back above the 618. Get us 252 on the upside. If we drop down below these lows, it's probably indicative we're coming down for this. I vote for this because it cleans up the big picture pattern. It had, what did like this right here, this move up from October 22 up through March of this year. That was a constructive bullish pattern. If we do this, it corrects it, and then we can get continuation. That continuation could be mega high. We're talking 500 up here. But we got to correct it. Got to correct it. ZS, otherwise it's going to be a struggle to get that high for a long time. ZS, working on doing something. Working on doing something here. Has support right down here. That low, that high. Right, yeah. Support right down in here. If we're so close. We just need to finish it up. Another 20, 30 points down. Finish that up, then we can go higher. That higher could be pretty constructive. Could see something up into this $500 area up here. APP, that looks like it wants to come back down to the roadmap line. We do have the all-time high resistance right up here. 115. This is a prime. Wow, man, look at this. Beautiful. So you see this IPO right here. Just want to make a point real quick. IPOs are bearish. All right. That right there. 1, 2, 3. 3-wave move. And then we did the correction. I mean, we did the continuation. Like almost all, it's like 90% of IPOs or 95% maybe start out bearish and are going to make a lower low before they go to new highs. That one right there popped up, corrected out. Now, or got continuation lower. That was the lowest low at this point. Now, looking at the big picture here, 233. I love it. Watch for this thing to break out. If we get above that roadmap line, this could go on a monster run. Baba, look at this. Look. We break out of this consolidation. Could be the go time here. We could be talking 170, 220. I might buy a few Baba shares just to see. SLCA. That's a nice pop. But I don't like that consolidation. We're just sitting there right in the middle. Nothing there for me. XLC coming back down to the roadmap line, probably. Now, that could have been it. Maybe, possibly. That was all that we needed. But there's the 618, and there's the target, which is the prior high right back here. Boy, that one took a dip in our... That took a long trip down and a long trip back up. ARM on the poppers list, but dang, I keep moving these alerts. The alerts are too easy to move. I need to... But there was a lock button on that thing. Somewhere I thought you could lock them, but that one I can't lock apparently. And eventually ARM is probably going to at least fill that gap, if not come back down and make a lower low. Now, it did start out, it made a lower low than IPO. Could that be it? Maybe. But that looks like it may end up coming back down, making a lower low, even lower than back here, right there. EMPH. Just consolidating under the roadmap line. Nothing bullish so far. FUTU. It's going on the breakout. Probably going to get the next upside target. 81. APLS. Nothing. Sideways. T-Row. Just sitting on the roadmap line there. Has the retrace. Break above that 618. 117. 126 would be the target. How likely... Just pull up some stats. 83%. That's a pretty good one right there. Not too shabby. So if we can get the daily close above the 618, odds are we're going up to 126 area right there. DJT Media. Potential to bounce off the roadmap line, but let's just draw it on here. Where was the low? Right there. Yeah, pretty close. So main resistance right here. This is just like ES, NQ, RTY, all the ones I started out with, NVIDIA, all those. We bounce up, we hold that resistance, probably coming on down. How low can she go? Could go down here, 13, possibly even down to 9. So watch out for that one. DECL. It's a 3x leverage on I love technology. Watch out for that one. Could it bounce? Sure. It's a 3x leverage. So doesn't always follow the patterns. FSLR, solar. Got resistance above us, support below us, and we're right in the smack dab middle with no high probability pattern set up right now. LABU. is a 3x biotech. And if we break down below this support, watch out below. Watch out below. 33 maybe. I mean, history has shown this thing's kind of like a big declining asset late in the modern times here. Maybe in all the times here. Hasn't really gone up at all. So be careful playing that one. Can you make money on the big swings? Sure, you can make money on the big swings. Long term, it's probably going down towards zero. I mean, we did. That was reverse split, right? Yeah, 1 for 20 right there. Not exactly the signs of going higher. Well, thanks, David. So kind of you. All right. TTD consolidating above the roadmap line, which may lead to a move up to this 99 to 100 area. Net. God, I can't touch that freaking. Oh, that topped out. That came back to the roadmap line. So that pattern was done. Cloud flare, that high, that low. This consolidation is the resistance, the piece de resistance. 126 would be the target if we get above there. Otherwise, it could go on down and retest this garbage right there. LI, piece of junk. Piece of junk stock. Don't trade this. Just sitting in the middle of consolidation. It drifts higher, it drifts lower. Don't trade stuff like that. Decliners, SAI. There's a lot of freight movers on this list this morning. SAI, Saya. I don't even know how you say that trucking company. That could be the low. That definitely pushed down below the roadmap line. We did that before, kind of. A little bit lower this time. And this, that high, that low, this pullback. Just a little bit bigger. Could lead to 695 on the upside. Team. That broke down. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. That looked very corrective on the way up there. And support here. We get below that. Watch for that. XPO. Logistics. Roadmap line. They got earnings coming up, so watch for that one next week. That may flush on down, or it could, if it gets down there by next week, it could be a pop. It could just shoot up. If we get down there, we get to be popping to 141, 157. Old Dominion, doing the same flush out. Did a split, and then... and that was kind of constructively bullish, so correcting that whole move could take Old Dominion back down to this area. Right in there. If we get below that, it could go something more sinister and lower. BYD, Boyd Gaming. Just in the chop zone. Chop zone, chop zone. It's going to take a breakout above these highs to go higher. It's going to break down below these lows, go lower. Otherwise, we're just in the chop zone. Charter, communications, hit the target on the downside. Right there. Look at that. New entry on XHB and ITB and RKT and NET and EWA. Whew. That's that new thing I'm working on, baby. Those are all going in Discord, too. Wow, look at all those. Wow. TTL member, good luck trading all those. Anyway, I'll have to go look at those when I get off here in a second. DXCM. Love it. That alert averages 6 trades per day over the last 6 years. 6 trades per day on 192 tickers. That's 6 in and 6 out per day. DXM right there. Potential to come back down here. PSX. Potential to come back to the roadmap line. PXD. Potential to come back to the roadmap line. The bigger target up here at 290 until oh, this is why I warn about these roadmap lines. Like, look at this. We got below it. And so now, what do we got cooking? Just clean it up. Look, sometimes you just got to clean up everything. Look right here. We got that. We're getting into this zone. If we don't hold this, baby, guess where we're going? 20. Right there. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. I swear some teenagers named this company. I mean, my inner teenager sits there and laughs every time I see this company's name and the ticker. Right up to the target. It may result in a retrace at this point. And yeah. Going for the bigger picture. Bigger picture target 95 up here. But we need to, that was a little fat. We need to retrace that back down, retest the breakout, which we're pretty dang close to. Then we can go on up to 95, possibly 150 up here above that. That's constructive, right? That's nested. You see what it did there? That low, oh, wrong tool. Wrong tool. That correction right there. Measured bounce. Beautiful. Now, while it's played out in a small time frame, it doesn't have to do the retest. It can just go full crazy bullish, and we can end up here at 186 or even higher. Possibly 384. ACMR. Jump back down. Yeah, you can say that, Andrew. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Usually that's a good thing, right? Anyway, retrace the roadmap line likely there. XOM. Pop down here. TTM, Turnmeyer Trading Lab is the place where all the alerts are going. It's my top end group. It's not cheap to get in there. But we do have all the extra stuff. It's TTL, Turnmeyer Trading Lab. It's my top of the line. Access to everything, including all my experimental stuff. Right there. XOM still looks like it's retracing. PEP. Didn't get above the 618 there. Watch that level. Watch that 181, 182 zone. We get above there. Can kick off 207 on the upside. TS right down to the roadmap line. I love this pattern. Absolutely love this pattern. That high. That potential low. Breaking back above 38, possibly 42. Roku. Well, there was that target. Almost there. And then if we get the extension, possibly down here. I guess Walmart selling their own TVs has not been very bullish for Roku, if you believe that narrative. Anyway, bias for the day. Make sure you give me a like or whatever. If anything I said was cool or beneficial or neat or something, you learned something today. And if you did learn something, give me your key takeaway in the chat. I'd love to hear that. Love to hear it. Or leave me a comment later if you're watching later. And looks like we're gonna do that thing where we go up here and test it. We rejected that for sure. Didn't get below it. Yeah, bounce down, bounce off. Come up here. If we hold this, it's as simple as this. If we hold this, we're probably coming down here on FOMC next week. If we can get above there, probably going up here on FOMC next week. That's simple. That's simple. Oh my gosh. Come on. Move. coming up here. Well, we won't necessarily just go in one day. It'll, like, we'll kick off the run to going up there. So that's the decider right there. Do we get above that? I have a feeling. I have a feeling if we don't break above it, we're probably going down here. If we do get above it, we're probably coming up here. That's kind of the key takeaway today for me. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you later. Be safe out there. The account